Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesday night here in the LDRS Creative Studio. And it has been a wonderful day here once again. It has actually been a crafting day for me. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys got some crafting in over the weekend or maybe even today like I did. So welcome everybody. Like I said, Tuesday night, I'm getting it right. Tuesday. Alan's going Sunday. I was practicing it before we went live. I'm like, Tuesday. Anyway, I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys had some sunshine and got outside and stuff. We actually, what day is today? Today's Tuesday. We just covered that. I'm thinking, well, no, it's just because I just said, I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. And I thought, wait a minute, what did I miss? I missed Monday, apparently. We actually, over the weekend, cleaned out our garage, which was fabulous. I've been asking Ellen for months. I mean, like, to get a dumpster. We actually had to have a dumpster. That's how much stuff, because we cleaned out the studio here and got rid of, I mean, so much stuff, a lot of crafting stuff that I just don't use anymore, just because I always use the LDRS stuff because I create it and I love it and I love working with it. It's my favorite stuff. So we cleaned out a lot of stuff. So we had, this is the stuff we're donating. This is the stuff that we're getting rid of, and so on. And this is stuff that, people are picking up that, that they want. And so anyway, I've been asking for months. And so finally, what was it? Friday morning, he says to me, he basically said, I have a surprise for you. And he said, was it Thursday? He said, I ordered a dumpster. And I almost cried. I almost cried. So excited about it. I don't like having a lot of clutter and stuff around me. It actually makes me feel, I don't know, kind of anxious. And so clearing that out, and there's all kinds of, booth things in there. Anyway, it was just a really good thing. And so now that we're done with that, we're going to go to the basement, get that cleared out. So anyway, a couple of things. Another thing was, hey, have any of you, if any of you guys are looking for something to watch on television, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time chit-chatting because I know we're here to craft, but if anybody's looking for something really good to watch on television, if you have Netflix, we've been watching, Ellen doesn't really like it, but I love it. It's Madam Secretary. And there's 6 seasons, like 6.5 seasons, and we're actually in season 6. And I think there's 10 episodes in season 6, and we had watched the first 5. We were up to 5, got through that. And so last night I put it on. I'm all excited. I'm going to watch episode 6. And so I get to Netflix and I just hit play and I'm watching it. And I won't tell you what happens, but it was very, very clear at the very, very end of it that it was over. Because usually with Netflix, it will like show you the next one. It'll prompt you and do a countdown. It was done. I'm like, what happened? How did it happen? Somehow we jumped to episode 10. So now I still have to watch episodes 6, 7, 8, and 9, but I know how the whole season ends, and I'm ticked. So for those of you that have Netflix, be careful of that. All right, anyway, 3 minutes. I do a 3-minute ramble. Now we're going to get into crafting. So everybody, if we have anybody new here, we always have a giveaway at the end. So make sure you get a comment, get a hello, get a something out there. We've got Alan and possibly Linnea. Stephanie's not here tonight. Hopefully Linnea, we'll see. I don't know if she's here. Linnea's there. Yay! Hi, Linnea. And Alan, so they are there. They will field any questions. They'll pass, Alan can actually pass questions to me. So you can ask any questions you want about the company, about me, about Alan. No. Any product questions or anything like that, and I will do my best to answer, whatever they can send my way. They are fielding questions from 3 different streams because we go to Facebook, the Facebook group page, and YouTube. So not all of the questions necessarily make it to me, but they do try and answer them. So anyway, I'm going to move on. We're going to get going because tonight is all about mixing and matching, and you guys know how much I love to mix and match, and I love to not only work with the new stuff that's always so exciting, but I don't ever like to forget about the stuff that I already have in my stash. And if you notice, I don't call it old stuff. I never say mix the old with the new because I don't think it's old. I think it's just stuff that I bought before I bought the new stuff. So it's still great. It's still wonderful. And I bought it because I love it. So I like to keep using it. So I decided to see if I could combine 3 different stamp and die sets. I do have some other things that I grabbed as well, but I thought I want to make a scene kind of mixing these up, and so we're going to see how this turned out. So Misto Hunt, if you will do me a favor and switch to camera 2, I would appreciate it. All right, here we go. So if you guys got the announcement, let me get my glasses on real quick. If you guys got the announcement, then you saw, well, here, let me grab the stamp sets. Bum, bum, bum. Dream Giant. So these are the 3 stamp sets that I decided to play with today. And yes, mine are all inky. They're all, they look, this is what they look like new, and this is what they look like after they've been inked. So just bear with me. I use my stuff. I actually use my stuff. So we've got Friends Like You, 12 stamps. You guys have seen me work with this. Of course, on the back, we always have the colored images so you can see at least a suggestion as to how you can color them. We Be Jammin'. I love this set. This set is all about friends just enjoying hanging out, little park bench here, picnic bench, I guess, and they're eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or peanut butter and jam sandwiches. That's where we get the We Be Jammin', and you are totally my jam, and peanut butter and jelly. So we go together like peanut butter and jelly. I love peanut butter and jelly. I don't know about you guys, but I love it. A Day in the Park. This is, I mean, all 3 of these sets are kind of universal. You can use these year after year after year. We do a lot of our stuff this way. This is so super cute. This is friends playing in the park. So we have, here's the little park bench. We have, this little girl on the bicycle. We have him on a skateboard, trees, so on and so forth. So sweet. And then, of course, each one of these has a coordinating die set as well. All right, and per usual, on the back of each of them, we kind of map out which die goes with which stamp. So you'll see that on the back of all of those. I won't show you all of them. But I also grabbed In a Cloudy Sky, because when you're outside, there's clouds in the sky. And so I decided to pull this. This is one of my favorites. This is a go-to. I always have, it's like a staple. There's staple items that I use over and over and over when I build scenes. My A2 stitch layered card toppers is another one of my staples. So I pulled this out as well. And then, Alan, you've got to, we have to get one of the In the Grass die sets from the office, because I don't have a packaged one. I lost my packaging, or I tore my packaging or something like that. I'm not sure. Okay. So anyway, the In the Grass die set has 3 different dies in it. So we have this one, which is a flat plane. We have this one here, which is a hill. And then we have the 3rd one here, which is a valley. So you can do all kinds of fun things by having all 3 of these in your crafting stash. So let's see, what else do I have in here? My goodness, I really did pull out a lot of stops, or a lot of things. A lot of stops? Where'd that come from? Pulling out the stop? Is that where I was going? I don't know. So I pulled out my pastel pattern 6x6 paper pack as well. So I'm going to show you, I did a lot of prep here, and I'm going to show you everything. So Alan, would you go to camera 2, please?
We are on 2.
3. Okay. There we go. Camera 3. So I did do a lot of prep here, and so we're kind of going to assemble today, and then I have something I want to do if we have enough time. I'm going to do it afterwards. So let me show you everything I have here. So my thinking was, let me get all my little characters out of the way. So let me show you all my little pieces and parts here. So to start off with, I have an A2 card base, and this happens to be with my Nina Classic Crest cardstock. I actually don't usually use this for my card bases because it's heavier and it is a little more costly. And it's what I use when I'm going to color with my Copic markers, but I'm actually out of my card base paper and I keep forgetting to order more, so I keep using this. So anyway, it's a half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So excuse me, you basically cut it at 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and then you fold it over, and you have your A2 card. So your A2 card finished is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then I went to my beautiful pastel patterns, and actually I'm going to tell you how I came to this. I decided that I was going to do a beautiful sky, but I wasn't going to stencil the clouds like we did last time. I wanted to use my beautiful little In a Cloudy Sky dies. So I die cut a whole bunch of these. Do you need something, honey?
I'm just looking at your card.
Okay. So I die cut a whole bunch of clouds. I knew that I was going to be working in a small, a small space. So I die cut one large cloud and a few small ones. They're probably not all going to fit, but I wanted to have some options. So in order to make, now this paper is my blending card. I'll tell you which one that is in a moment. But white on white wasn't going to work very well. Okay, it's just kind of blah. Doesn't look like a sky that way. So in order to make it look like a sky, I decided that I would do some blending, and I pulled my favorite sky color, which is Marina Madness. And all I did with my blending brush, you guys have seen me do this 100 times. With my Marina Madness, I literally just did the blending on it. Now, the paper that I use for this is the Strathmore Bristol Smooth Surface. We do have this in the store, I think, don't we?
Yeah.
We still have some. This is what I use. I always get the 9x12. It comes with 20 sheets. You can, this is the only size that we have in the store because I think it's the most universal. I can cut this to A2. I can cut this to, to the right size for a slim line. And so with one, pad of it, I can do all different sizes.
What do you use for that?
Oh, what did I use for this?
Yeah, it's a question.
Oh, my card base. This is my Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. It's not what I usually use for my card bases, just because this is, not only because it's heavier, but also because it's a little more costly. This is what I usually use when I'm going to color with alcohol markers, but I'm out of what I usually use. I would usually get, it's a Neenah, oh goodness, I think this is 110 pound. I think it's like a Neenah 80 pound maybe that I would use for card bases. I just have to order more. I'm out of it. This is the 110 pound, which is much heavier, and this is what I would use for a card topper, and I would use this if I'm going to be coloring with Copic markers. I also use it if I'm going to do die cuts because I like my die cuts to be really, really sturdy. When I get the lighter weight for my card bases, it just doesn't work as nice. It doesn't look as gorgeous when I die cut it. So I use the lighter weight for my card bases, just because I'm filling them up with, I'm usually going to be putting layers of things on them, and so it's gonna have some weight to it anyway. So, all right, so back to this. I went ahead and I just did basic color blending. And so I went darker at the top, faded out to white really easily. I mean, you're literally just going like this. Okay, if you haven't seen it, you're literally just, I usually start off the corner and bring it into the center, load up with your ink. I won't do it again because I'm not using a stencil or anything. And I didn't want to spend time just doing that because you guys have seen me do that a lot. But this, my point in going over that is that this is what made me determine which paper I was going to pull out of my pastel patterns. So I had the option of grabbing this beautiful gingham, which is a much brighter blue, or this is more of like an aqua kind of a blue, and it looked just beautiful with the Marina Madness. I think it's such a gorgeous combination. And then I went ahead with, where is it? My A2 stitch layered card toppers, and I used the two outermost dies. And with the largest die, I cut my pattern paper. Okay, you can see this fits perfectly. If I can get it on there, there we go. Fits perfectly. So I cut my pattern paper with the largest die. And then with this has 3 dies in total. So then it's the outer die, the center die, and then the smallest die. So with the center die, the nested one there, I actually cut the paper that I had done the color blending technique with. All right. So these are the 2 outermost dies in the A2 stitch layered card toppers. Now you can see when I layer these up, look how perfectly. Now, because this has a pattern on it, you're not going to see the stitching. You can see the stitching in the back. See the stitching in the back? But because it has a pattern on it, the stitching doesn't really show up very well. It shows up in person a little bit better, but it doesn't show up on camera very well. I mean, I guess I can see it a tiny, when I put my hand behind it at the bottom there, you can see it. But you can see it beautifully on the nested piece here. All right, so this is where we're headed. These are going to layer right over the top. All right, so you can see that the largest die in that set is the perfect size to go over my card base. Lori is asking, are the brushes available soon? The brushes will be available in just a few weeks. These are the brushes that Lori is asking about. It's what I just showed you. These are the new blending brushes that we've got, and I love them. I went with my very favorite size. This is a really, really soft, almost foam bristle brush. And the brush head on this is in millimeters. It's 35 millimeters by 25 millimeters. For me, it's the perfect size. It's large enough that I can blend over a larger space really nicely, but it's small enough that I can still get into the smaller spaces without going too far outside of it. So I love these, and of course we have our logo on there too. So these are going to be sold in 4 packs, and we're going to have these in just a few weeks. These are going to be up. So I'm just kind of teasing you with these, and I love them. They feel so nice. I love them. They feel so good. I need a brush like that. It's so soothing and relaxing. Oh my goodness. What a way to fall asleep, right? Okay. So here we are. Next up, I thought I wanted to have grass. I'm going to have little critters, so I wanted to have grass. And I thought it would be fun to show you what I did. I happen to have, now I have a stash of things that, like, I will die cut. Like, for example, I've got probably too many clouds here. So I'm not going to throw out the clouds that I don't use. I'm going to put them into a little plastic bin that I have where I have extra little pieces. And so that's what I started with. This is what I started with. These were actually in my little bin. Here's another set that I had in my bin. These were a darker green, and I wanted the brighter green. But this is what I started with. And the problem that I had, if I can show you this, is that number one, they're too long. And number two, if I lay this over my card base, I lose my stitching. And I didn't want to lose my stitching. I wanted to see my stitching. So I wanted to show you how you can get your stitching back on your scraps if you have scraps. This is what I did. So I grabbed my base plate for my, and Alan, you're going to have to die cut here. So I grabbed my base plate. Where did my dies go? Where did I put my dies?
4.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Which
Where
dies?
did I put the dies?
Which step?
My, I just had them here. Oh, here they are. Oh, for goodness sakes. I put them underneath. Okay, so in order to get the stitching back, this is what I did. I grabbed, this is the same die that I used on my blending card. Okay, so it fits it perfectly. So I grabbed the same die because I want it to be the same size. And I laid this over just like this.
That's a good idea.
And just like this. Because I wanted the stitching. And I wanted to use what I already had in my stash. Let me lay that on there. Okay. So I'm going to give this off to Alan, and hopefully he's not going to move
really?
These things. So squeeze that. There you go.
No,
Squeeze the
these-
sandwich. You got it. Okay.
They're so versatile, we should charge more money for them.
You're so funny. My husband, the comedian. All right, let me see. Let me show you. I'm going to line up my little characters here so you can see while he's doing that. So you can see everybody that I've got. We've even got some trees. My little characters. I have this little bird. What?
Making a lot of noise.
All right, so here we go. So now you can see, I'm going to get rid of these little scraps here that I have left over. Now you can see that they have the stitching on them. See the stitching through it? Isn't that pretty? So now when I lay this over the top of my card base, I now have that stitching that is continuing all around. And I can layer these over one at a time, and they fit absolutely perfectly. Now these are a little bit darker than I wanted, so I'm going to move those aside because I have my lighter version here that I already did. And these are going to go just like this. Isn't that just so pretty? So let's go ahead and get these on here. Notice I used the hill. I've got the hill here, and then I have the flat plane. So that's flat. And then when I layer those, it looks like it gives it some depth, kind of some dimension there. Really nice. I'm actually going to move these up a little bit. Oops. I like to bend these up, some of the grass. I think it looks pretty when it's laying down there. It has a little texture. Now I'm going to put the adhesive at the bottom. I always put it at the kind of toward the bottom in case I want to tuck anything into it. And I'm just going to line this up on here. Isn't that so pretty already? There we go. And then get some adhesive on this one. I literally sat down, stamped a bunch of things, die cut a bunch of things, did that little bit of blending, and here we are. And I'm hoping that it all comes together. You know, I'm going to see what's going to fit. And that's pretty much how that's how I craft a lot of the time. I look to what I have and I just start playing with it. And cutting things and seeing what's going to, you know, what I have room for. Now, all right, I want to show you this one. So from this set, this is the Weeby Jammin'. From this set, let me turn this over. I wanted to have this, this picnic table. And so I thought it would be fun. You may have seen me do this before. Well, first of all, I thought it'd be fun to have kind of a peach kind of picnic table. Now, just so you know, I ended up using this paper pack kind of as my color scheme a bit. So I thought, I've already got that beautiful kind of aqua color. What colors could I pull out of here to bring into my card? So I went with this kind of coral. It's kind of a peach, kind of a coral color. And so I thought that would be fun to have the picnic table be that color. So I colored that up with my Copic markers. But I didn't want to just color in the tablecloth. So I stamped the tablecloth again, and then all I did was trim around it with my scissors. And so I'm going to paper piece this onto my picnic table. I really like paper piecing, but I can only do a little bit at a time. I mean, some people can sit and do a lot of paper piecing. I can't. I don't have the patience for it, but I love the way it looks. And then, you know, I didn't worry about cutting. See how I still have some of the black lines there from when I stamped it? Well, I have the black lines here too. And you don't have to worry about trimming that completely because it's all going to line up in the end anyway. There we go. So now I have a beautiful gingham tablecloth on my table, and I think it's adorable. Now, so that was stamp set number 1. So that is my Weeby Jammin'. So that's stamp set 1. Next up, I thought that it would be fun. This is why I grabbed this one. I grabbed the A Day in the Park. I took a look at this. And I thought if I'm going to do something outside, I wanted to have some trees. And this is such a whimsical and fun tree. It's not a realistic tree. Excuse me. It's very cartoon-like. It actually kind of reminds me a little bit of like Bugs Bunny trees and stuff like that a little bit, the shrubs and stuff that they have. So I thought it would be really fun to stamp up a couple of those and get them colored. And I colored them really, really easily. I literally just colored them with 2 shades of green, and I left just a little bit of white around some of the edges for some highlights. And I'm just going to I'm going to lay this in here. I'm going to lay this out first because I don't know where everything's going to go. So I'm going to tuck a couple of these in. I might have to shorten one of these, but we're going to see, because I don't like them being the exact same height. So this is kind of what I'm thinking, is that I'm going to go here and put the picnic table over here. And then, so that is set number 2. And then from set number 3, Friends Like You, this is where I wanted the characters, because I thought it would be so much fun to have them kind of in the park. These are things that I used to do when I was a kid. You guys probably did too, if anybody's as old as I am. You know, we've got hula hoop here and, oh my goodness, pogo stick. Yes. And this little guy is planting, which is he's planting a little potted flower, which is one of my favorite things to do. So I thought it would be fun to color up some of them. And so that's what I've got going on here, these guys here. And I thought it'd be fun to put him like right up there on the table because I think it's adorable. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing something here. Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Maybe not. Okay. Let's see. And then I could slide some clouds in here. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Oh my gosh, I hope I don't sneeze. Oh my gosh, I'm really trying not to sneeze. That would be so loud. Oh. I could even have this one kind of like that. I could trim that off the side there. Oh. And then I colored this little bird up, in red. Granted, he's not a cardinal, but he looks like he could be. So, so sweet. Let's see. I think I like him better over here. And then I can make him taller over here. So I think that's where we're going to go. And we'll see what we end up doing with those. Okay. So I'm going to start figuring out what... All the characters are going to get foam on them. We set the clouds aside. The clouds are not going to get foam, and I don't think the trees are going to get foam. I'm not sure about that. So I'm going to trim this tree down. I'm going to leave that one longer, and I'm going to trim the bottom off of this one and see if that is the height that I'm looking for. And do I want that behind it maybe? Let's see if I like it behind there better. Yeah, I think I like it. It looks like it's in the distance and then lower down. And Peggy's saying, don't forget the sentiment. Thank you, Peggy. I think I might actually put the sentiment on the inside because I think it looks a little crowded now that I've kind of filled in where I'm going to go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get these into position. I love that you guys remind me about the sentiment. You guys know me too well. It's awesome. All right, so let's do this. All right, so I'm going to put this backwards just for positioning. So I know where this one's going to go. Tuck it in here. All right. So that one's going to go there. And then this one's going to go here. Let's raise that up a little. There we go. There we go. I think I'm going to actually put this flat because we're going to have the characters. The characters are going to have some foam, so that's where the lift is going to be, the dimension is going to be. All right, let's go in the other direction. All right. Move that over there so I have enough room for my characters. And where's my foam? Where do you see this foam roll? Oh my, look at that. So tiny. Ooh, I forgot to slide this behind there. Uh-oh, Sketty-o. Let's see if I can pop that up without ruining it. There we go. Never too late to add a cloud. There we go. Boy, I'm glad I remembered that. Let's put this one up here. And then I think, I don't know if I want that one. That might be a little much. All right, let me get some foam on my characters. See, this is the play that I have to do. I'm being asked, are there any sneak peeks for HSN Craft Day in June? We actually don't have. We're not going to be in June. I'm sorry.
What did we just send?
Huh?
What did we just send?
We just sent the auto ship.
Oh, the auto ship.
Yeah, the auto ship was just sent. Our next craft day is in, well, actually, let me think. Our next actual craft day for HSN is in July, but I'm actually doing on June 22nd, I'm doing their Facebook Live with Suzanne. So that's going to be fun. I did one of those already and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so this little guy goes right on the table here. He's just sitting Indian style. That's where I would be. I'd be hanging out right there. All right, let me put these into position because I don't know if I want to put another cloud. He's going to go up there. I know that. As though he's flying into those trees there. I could just have that little bit of cloud there. This is how it would look.
Good.
I think it's kind of cute. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Did you say it looks good?
Yeah.
All right, Alan likes it, so we'll put it there. So I'm going to go like that and add that cloud off the page, and then I'm going to trim it. There we go. So that is good. I think I might bring him up a little bit and have him here. All right, that's what we'll do. So he's up here next to, is he straight? He's doing his hula hoop there. And then this guy is on his pogo stick. How cute is that? Goodness gracious. They're just adorable. I love these little characters. Okay, so this is the front of the card now. So now we're going to turn, we've used all three of these, and I die cut all those images with the coordinating dies. So we've got all three of them on there. We've got our clouds, we've got our grass, we've even done some paper piecing. Super, super cute. Here is the card base. The card is going to go in this direction, okay? So it's going to be landscape. So this is where I'm going to put my sentiment. It's on the inside of this card. So let's see. All right, and the sentiment that I want to use is, who could be blue with friends like you? I think that's really sweet. And I haven't used that one yet. So I think that'll be fun to do. Who could be blue? Let me make sure I have this right. Who could be blue? Oh, there, it is right. Who could be blue with friends like you? I think this is a really great one to put on the inside. It's sized perfectly. Looks like it's centered. Okay, make sure this is in the corner. And I've got my Stampendable ready to go. I am going to, this is the first time I'm using this stamp, so I'm just going to see if I can get, just kind of condition it just a little bit. See if that helps. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But I am going to ink this up with my Raven Hybrid ink. And then I'm going to use my Stampendable. Now, I may, because this is the first time I'm stamping with this stamp, it's quite possible that I'm going to have to, actually, did I over ink? I did. I'm going to get that because I don't want that to end up on my card. So let me do this again. So it's fresh ink. It's quite possible I'm going to have to stamp it twice. Especially since I'm using this one with this bigger magnet. I don't like those magnets. It's like they're too thick.
I think they sell a thinner one.
Look at that. It's perfect. That's this. That's the Stampendable. All right. That's what makes even pressure all across as I'm rubbing that on the top of that. Absolutely wonderful. I love that tool. If you don't have one, get one. It's so reasonable. They're sold in stores everywhere. Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one away. I'm always careful to put my stamps and stuff away because I don't like them getting all covered in lint. I know that I can clean them if I need to. I don't want to have to need to. So there we go. Now it's in there where it goes. Oops, I didn't do that very well. There we go. Okay, next, I'm going to go ahead and mount this, my little card topper, onto that beautiful pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get some adhesive on there. Leave that beautiful little frame around it. There we go. How pretty. Let's see if this is dry. Gotta remember, it is a hybrid ink, so it doesn't dry absolutely instantly. You know what I might do? I have this little heart here. I think I'm gonna put that little heart on there. Because I colored that up, I just didn't use it on the front. So I'm gonna put that on the inside. If I can get some, there we go. So put that right here. There. Now we even have something cute on the inside, other than the adorable sentiment. Okay. Now, let me make sure I have this right. So here's the base. This is the top. I'm always very careful because I have put card toppers on the card upside down before. Nothing more frustrating than that. Having to tear that back up off of there, oh, drives me nuts. There we go. I feel like you're ruining all the work you just did. So I'm always very careful. There we go. Make sure that's pressed on there pretty good. And we are done. Look how cute. I think it's super sweet. If you want, I mean, I could put a little sentiment in here, but I don't have to. I think it would actually be a little too much if I did. So isn't that just the sweetest little thing? I love creating scenes with little critters, little characters like this. I just think it's so sweet. And this is a perfect time of year. Spring, we're heading into summer. I mean, perfect time of year for a picnic. It's just gorgeous, just adorable. I love it. Okay, so something else I wanted to cover tonight was, you know, I went over the mosaic cover plate die the other day, and then somebody had a question for me. They got this die home and they were having some trouble cutting it. Now, I do want to explain, and this is something, I don't know if I covered this the other day. You know, if I'm going to be cutting with a die like this, all right, for example, I've got one cutting edge right around it, and I have these other little blades here that are going to do the stitching, you know, cut the stitches for me. This is going to pop the paper out so easily. I can even push it from the back. It's not a big deal. There isn't a whole lot to hold onto the paper. You know, it's a very simplistic die, as are things like this. These are very, very simplistic dies. You know, you just have this cutting edge around there, nothing to really grab onto the paper. When you get to things like this, okay, this is what we would call a very intricate die. So this has a lot of cuts in it. I mean, every single one of those is a blade. But the smaller ones, these little pieces in here, you know, and even some of these in here, the tighter, the smaller the space where you have your blades, where you're cutting those pieces, it's, you know, your paper is easily going to get stuck in those things. And it's also going to potentially require a little bit of a push to get the paper to release. Now, fresh dies, the first time you use them, you know, it might just pop right out. But usually when you have something that's really intricate like this, you're going to have to utilize, see those little like pinpoints in the back? Those are called poke holes. They're called that for a reason. Poke holes are there so that you can poke the paper with a sharp tool. So you can poke it and push it out of the die. So, you know, I mean, just conceptually, the design of dies already takes into account that paper will inevitably get stuck in your die. So unless you have an opening like this, you're not going to be able to just push it out with your hand. You're going to have to use something. Now, there are tools that have been created to help you do that and so on and so forth. But, you know, we also, just another thing too, we do have a Teflon-like coating that goes on all of our dies to help with the release of it. And that, again, is going to go so far as only so far as well. Because when you get to these intricate, tiny little pieces, the paper's just not going to release. That's just the nature of the beast. That's how it is. So I do want to show you, Alan, can you get me a piece of paper over there? Here, I'm going to use this so I can show him, see this? See, my little pointy tool. Go over there and get me an A2 in the back. Yep, right there.
It's got a pattern on it.
Oh, okay. They're probably laying down.
Yeah, they're lazy.
Right there. Yep, one of those. Perfect. I'm telling you, get one of these for your husband. So
maybe we should give one away because we got 3 of them.
We need to keep one of these in the kitchen so that when you're in the refrigerator and you go, where's the, and you know, I can go, it's right there. It's right there. There's the milk.
If you just don't hide it.
Yeah, hide it. Yeah. Hide it means I put the milk in front of it. Yeah. Okay. See, they're all nodding. They all know what I'm talking about. Okay, a couple of things. Will you get me the other plates over there? I'm going to show this. I want to show some little tips on cutting with intricate dies. And we should probably go to camera 2 so people can see this better. Okay. Now, of course, you know, what I'm showing you is you're going to have to look to the instructions for the die cutting machine that you have. I happen to use the Big Shot. So what I'm going to show you is what I use, what I'm familiar with, and you're going to have to apply it to whatever machine you use. So here's my sandwich. I have the main platform. I have this, the first plate, then I have the first clear plate. Now, with most of my dies, all of my regular dies, I always put them blade side down. So I would put my paper down first, and then I would put my die on it blade side down, and then I would put the second plate on it and cut. That helps to make sure that I don't get, see the warp that I have on here? It's very, very minimal. And I've been using this machine a lot and a long time, so I have very, very minimal warping on my plate. That's because I cut with my blade side down. And that's going to work for your easier dies. When it comes to things like your, like the mosaic die, this one whenever you have an intricate die, you're going to get the best cut if you cut with the blade side up. Because your roller is on top. So you have to remember, when you put this through the machine, the roller is up on the top here. And so you want to get the maximum pressure on those cutting blades. If I put it this way, I have the maximum pressure on the outside of it here, or on the back side of it. So when I flip it this way, put my paper over it, I'm going to run this through. Come here, Alan. Alan's going to run this through. Hopefully, I don't know if it moved or not, but it's not going to matter. So he's going to run that through, and I'm going to show you what's going to happen. Did it move?
Yeah. I can can see it's a little bit off.
Well, it's okay. For these purposes, it's fine. It moved a tiny little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it. I don't want to stress over little details that aren't going to matter for what we're doing here. So he's running that through. Okay, we heard the crack. So here we go. We heard a crack, and now he's on his way back. Okay. So you want to, this is where we should probably go to camera 2. Because I want to show you.
We're on 2, we're going to 3.
Okay, we're going to 3. All right, so very intricate die. So when you open this up, you're going to see, you're going to see how dirty my plate was. That's what you're going to see. But when we look at this, now you can see some areas cut really, really well. Other areas didn't cut really well. But you can see it's almost like a path, like right down the center, it didn't cut as well, but on the sides, it happened to cut really well. That's because your roller on your machine over time is going to develop like flat spots. It's going to happen with age, with use, whatever. So it's going to develop flat spots. You're not going to notice it with things like this, okay? Because this is all hollowed out and all you have is one cut line all around. You're not going to notice it with things like this because again, you just have your one cut line all around it. It's going to be far more obvious or prevalent when you have an all-over intricate die. If I were to keep putting this through my machine just like this the same way, it's going to keep going over it in the exact same way. It's going to keep cutting deeper here and it's going to have that shallow cut here because my roller it has a flat spot. So what do? I can turn this around. So leave your paper in. I can rotate this 90 degrees this way. I can rotate it 180 degrees. I may have to put this through more than once, all right? Another thing you can do, and I like to double these up. Actually, if you will get me a piece of cardstock, just a thin piece of scrap cardstock right down here. Give me that dark green one right there.
This one?
Yeah, give me that one. Does that cover it?
Yep.
Yeah, that covers it. Okay. So I'm going to show you what I do. This is how I do it. I double up. So I would have, first of all, because this is intricate, I would have made my sandwich like this. I would have gone like this, and I would have laid a scrap piece of paper over the top. That's my shim. That's going to make sure that it gets a deeper cut. Now, I might open this up and find that it was perfect. Chances are, because I can see a flat spot in my roller, it's not going to be perfect. So I'm going to take it and rotate it 90 degrees. And I'm going to put this over it. And now I'm going to shim it. And Alan's going to run it through. Again,
shim underneath?
No, leave the shim exactly where it is. And run it through. There we go. So now we're going to count down until he's done. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Here, how about we look at the card? Oh, we got a little fuzz on it. There we go. See the detail? So pretty. The dimension. Love it. Blue could be blue with friends like you. That's how I feel about you guys. Seriously, that's how I feel about you guys. I'm not being sappy.
No, you're being sappy.
No, I'm not. I really enjoy doing this. Okay. Where'd my shim go? I want to show. I'm trying to show everything, goofball. Okay, so this was on here like this. Now here's my shim, which is curled. All right, because of the pressure, my shim has curled. I'm going to lift this up. And now you can see it looks so much better. I can still see I have one little spot here. Now that is in the same place where my roller was when I had it like this, right? That was my flat spot. Now I've gone like this. I still have that flat spot. I'm going to turn it and I'm going to move it over a little bit because I know my flat spot is in this position on the roller. Okay, so here's my plate. I kind of know where my flat spot is like over here. So I'm going to slide it over here. And yes, I'm going to send this through a third time. And this is just something you have to do sometimes. Alan, come here.
Am I doing this again?
You're going to do it one more time.
I'm going to get paid extra for this, right?
Now, this is what it's like for real when you're crafting, right? Right, ladies? I mean, you know, it's really nice and easy when I just kind of say, here's my little bag of all my stuff that I did. But you don't know what I did in the background. So when I was working with this die the other day, I did run it through, I think 3 times, just like I'm doing now, because I used this same machine and I had a flat spot in it. And so I had to get around that flat spot. Chances are your machine is going to have a flat spot. They almost all do. What'd you do? Okay, so here we go. So now we're going to take this apart. And now you can see everything starting to just pop out of here, right? And now it's absolutely perfect. All right. So, oh, I got a mess. Huh? Wait, no, will you get me, hold on. Where is it? Right here. It's right in that area, that blue, right there. The blue one back there, right there. Yep. Yeah, here. No, the one that yeah, thank you. So there's this tool, right? Everybody's got this tool. You know, if your die isn't popping out of there because it's grabbing onto the paper like this. You know, if you have one of these tools, great. If you don't, use a pin. Just use a pin. But you're just going to poke into some of these little holes here, and it's going to be pushing your paper out. Some of them, let me see, I'm going to find one. Some of them actually lift the paper up and out. So here we go. Here's one that doesn't go all the way through. So some of the poke holes only push right into where the paper is. So this is what we have here, and then this is what I do. And yes, you can use, you know, one of those little foam pads, but this is what I do. I just go right into my hand. I think it's easier. If I use one of those little foam pads, my die cut ends up curling a lot, and I don't like it when it curls. It drives me crazy. If it does curl, get it from the back side like this. Just roll on the back of it as well. All right, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but this is what you get. This is how gorgeous this die is. It just takes a little bit of patience, you know, and then again, you know, you can tap whatever you can't get out of there, just poke through just like that and get all your little pieces out. Got a few of them being stubborn in there. But whenever you have an intricate die, you just need to be a little bit patient with it, and you need to pay attention to what the die cut is telling you. You will be able to see where the flat spots are in the roller. Okay? There's still little pieces in here I need to work out, but I'm not going to worry about that for right now. So that is just a little lesson, my little tips and tricks on how you work with an intricate die like the floral mosaic, which is one of my absolute favorites. So this is the card, in case you missed last week. This is the card that I made with it. Look how gorgeous that is. So pretty when you put a bright color behind it too. It's just lovely. You can also do white on white, and it's just stunning. So, all right, so that is my little tip. That's kind of my little tips and tricks for the day. Alrighty, everybody, let's go back to today's card. This is the card that I made. I hope you guys like it. Yay. I think it's so cute. I think we're done. All right. So here is today's card. Let's get the shot for the, for the cover. There you go. Cracks me up. I feel like a goofball when I do that. Okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I love mixing and matching my stamp sets. It can get a little boring when you just use the stamps that are in the set over and over and over and over again. So make it new again. Add some of the things that you already have in your stash, and it's just going to brighten everything up, and it's going to make your stamps go further. It's going to give you a gazillion more combinations if you actually take a look at all the things that you have in your current craft collection. So go for it and have fun with it. It really is a lot of fun. I love it. So Sheila is saying, do you have a set for stamping on back of cards made by, created for? I don't think we do. I don't think we do. Somebody, Linnea, Make a note of that. All right, do we have any other questions for today?
No.
Come on. There's got to be more questions. There's always more questions. Whenever I go back and I review the videos afterwards, there's always more questions. So, none?
I don't see
Okay.
any.
Well, we're going to do a giveaway. And I think, you know what we're going to do?
I do not.
We're going to do a giveaway on, because I think this is so wonderful. I love this. We're going to do a giveaway on Weeby Jammin', the stamps and the dies, because I love peanut butter and jam or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Oh, did you come over in here?
I was looking at your card.
Well, come on over. Come on over. All right. Well, we're going to do the giveaway tonight is going to be the Weeby Jammin' stamps and dies. So let's see. He's got a name up here already. Paulette Hanstein, Hanstine. Paulette, you have won. Congratulations. You're tonight's winner, and you get the Weeby Jammin' stamps and dies, coordinating dies. Paulette, all I need for you to do to claim your prize is to send an email to customerservice@ldrscreative.com, and I need your name, need your complete mailing address, and we will be able to get your prize out to you right away. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and congratulations. All right, everybody, if there's no more questions, nothing else, Alan?
I do not see any more questions.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean there aren't any.
He says he doesn't see anymore. Okay. Well, I guess we're about 4 minutes early then tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining me once again. It has been an absolute pleasure. I hope you had fun. I hope maybe you learned something. I don't know. You know, worst case scenario, I hope you got a little crafting in with me and weren't bored to death or irritated by the sound of my voice.
You know me
How's
so
that?
well.
Nice. He says, you know me so well. Gosh. All right, everybody. Have a good night. We will be back here same time, same place. It'll be Thursday, 7 p.m. right here in studio. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful evening, a fabulous Wednesday, and we will see you in just 2 days, Thursday night, 7 p.m. right here. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.